Hey everybody and welcome. Certainly glad you could join me today. In this video we're going to look at how to create a light sword. Before I get started, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to everybody who has subscribed and hit the notification icon. It's very helpful to me to be able to see how many people want to see my content. Also a huge thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon. Your names will be running across the bottom of the screen as we speak. If you are interested in supporting the channel, feel free to visit the links in the description below. So let's jump right into this then. So the first thing we want to do is to click on this icon at the top of our tab here, which looks like three shapes swished together, and we're going to create a cylinder. And we're going to set the length to about 1.5 meters. I'm going to change the diameter to about, I want to say 0.03, and we're going to have segments set to 10, and we're going to hit accept. And here we go, we can see in our scene now that we have a cylinder which has been split into 10 equal segments along its length. What we're going to do is select the geometry editor tool, which is this icon at the top that looks like a checkerboard with a pencil over it. And we're going to open our scene tab and click on the cylinder to make sure that the cylinder is selected. We're now going to right click on our object with the geometry tool editor selected, and we're going to check that our selection type is polygon and that our selection mode is marquee. Now this will allow us to select a large number of faces in one go, so I'm actually going to select that number. So we have 3 segments at the bottom that are not selected, and the rest of the cylinder is indeed selected. What I need to do now is right click on the object and change the geometry assignment, and we're going to click on create surface from selected, and then we're going to name this blade. Now if we go into our surfaces tab, you can see that we have our default material, and we also have the material for our blade. So we can actually click off of the geometry editor tool now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into NVIDIA iRay mode. This will just allow us to see the changes that we're making in real time. There you go, as you can see. And we've got our bloom filter selected here, and it's set to 5000, and this just gives us a little bit more of a haze, but you can turn this off, it's fine. It doesn't make that much difference right now because we haven't adjusted the materials. So what I'm going to do is firstly I'm going to set the material for the hilt, which is our default material, and I'm just going to change its color to grey by clicking on the base color bar, selecting OK. And then in the glossy layered weight, I'm actually going to drag that all the way up to 1, just to make it a little bit more shiny. And then where it says glossy reflectivity, we're going to drag that up a little bit as well. That should just give us a slightly more metallic kind of look. You could just apply a metal shader to that if you so wished. Now for our blade, we're going to expand this menu down and we're going to select base. The first thing we want to do is choose the color of our lightsaber. So I'm going to go with a kind of a light blue, like that. It doesn't look very much like a lightsaber at the moment, does it? So now we're going to come down to our emissions tab, and we're going to change our emission color to a slightly lighter blue, like that. And it's going to take a minute for this to work out because we haven't increased the brightness, and we just drag that up there and we hit OK. And now we need to change the luminance units to KCDMR. And as you can see now, the color has changed quite a bit. So if we were to slowly increase that, you can see that it gets brighter. And what we need to do now is come back into our render settings, and we're going to turn on our bloom filter, and that gives us that telltale glow. And this is where we can balance these out. So if we go back to 1500 on the luminance, it's probably still a bit too glowy. So what we can do is we can actually increase the bloom filter threshold. I'm going to knock that up to 10,000. And as you can see, the bloom gets slightly smaller. So let's say 15,000. And it decreases a bit more. And then we can just keep playing with these values until we get the effect that we're after. And that's really all there is to it. Just keep playing with those two values until you get the glow that you're satisfied with. And that's really how you do it. I hope you found this useful. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Smash that like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.